What's up, guys? My name is Jay here from Rising Duelist here, and we have
Jellfish
with
Cardi.
Alright, now we're going to be discussing link format. Obviously, it's something that people have been discussing, and a very common topic is what are going to be the best decks during this format. So we're just going to be shooting some ideas here. Let us know what you think.
Talking about it, each one of us has 3 different decks we're talking about, and our number 1 pick for everything. So spicy top 10. Right here. My first pick, I think it'd actually be really good in link format, is Sylvanas. Reason is, well, one reason is because they actually don't rely on the extra deck too much, and because Lone Fire is a thing, at 3, they can do a lot of damage, they can do a lot of wipes. They are they're also a slower deck, so in a slower format they can thrive. They're actually a very skillful deck in my opinion.
And then you now have the Bow Baboons to stack your deck.
Yeah.
And I think that they could possibly, especially because Dandy is a deck thing that's been kind of in and out in Sylvan play. You can use Dandy. I love Dandy, favorite card. So with that being an option, you can go into a Link 2, do your Cyber plays.
Use your tokens.
Soul Charge is a thing. Yeah. And Symbol of Heritage. So I just think there's a lot of versatility, and because it is a slower deck and a lot of people don't know how to play or counter it, it can do some good stuff.
It's hard to count. It's hard to side against decks like those that are can go just anywhere with it.
Yeah, because like, especially when you play it now, you can either play it kind of in between like I do, or very XYZ or very synchro heavy.
Yeah.
So that's my pick.
So my pick first would be BA, the deck that never dies. So you can easily put 3 monsters on the board with BA to get to that Show Talker, and then trigger all their effects. You can get your Dantes, your Beatrices, and just Farfa just hurts everything so well.
I mean, that's true. What you could just do is just Dante and then Beatrice, and never even go into the links. Just sit on that one extra deck monster.
Yeah, because they have to deal with the Beatrice.
And then the Farfa again. Farfa just.
Farfa hurts.
And then you get rid of the Beatrice, you got to deal with the fusion.
You got the the Pilgrim, and there's so many little things you could do. And if they do kill your Dante, once it hits the grave, you can bring it back in the monster zone, and then you have your floating Dante pools.
Yeah.
And BA is a little. They're kind of fast, but they're not too fast. They can survive in a very slow.
Yeah, they're going to be because there's been super trap heavy BA formats, and then there's been like no traps at all BAs. It's just they're the deck that never dies, mostly because Dante will never be hit. He's dodging the ban list every time.
Konami's love child right there. Like.
Dante.
Now, what do you think? What's your first one?
Well, my very first pick has got to be Cosmos, specifically Demise Cosmo. Yeah, it's just.
You don't have to touch the extra deck.
You might maybe hit Cyber Dragon Infinity.
Like, the Cosmos even play an extra deck, or is it just like, oh, Nova and Infinity?
Yeah, that's literally what I play. So you go for that, and gosh, the Cosmos can just drive on such a
some rare variants play
on such a slow format. They'll do, especially Demise Cosmos is perfect for this new slow format we're going to be coming into. You go Demise, Tin Cannon, Phase You Surge, you can tag out anytime. They flow, so you're constantly going to be having something. I think Cosmos is going to be one of the better ones out there.
Yeah, their biggest threat was always running into other people's extra decks. So.
Yeah, that is true. With extra decks being gone, another deck that kind of came around the BA format era that was kind of designed to be an extra deck heavy deck, but doesn't need to. And my second pick is Teller Knights. I love Tellers. I think Tellers can do a lot of good damage because they can spam, so you can easily put 3 on the board to create a Decoy Talker. The fact that
and just easily recuperate those 3.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I mean, if you don't even include Soul Charge, because Soul Charge can be like a lovable card in this format, I think. You got Call the Haunted, you got your Oasis of Dragon Souls.
Oh, and they came out with a new graveyard that grabs them grabs a level 4 or lower from the grave and puts it in defense mode, so you don't even lose to. And it's not a continuous, so it doesn't float, but
that's something that I feel like because this deck can go on traps and do that, you can easily bring that out, bring out even a level or a Link 2, and go Trivier, bounce everything. Because Trivier bounces everything, even the Link monsters. Yeah. So you can create this monster that can do good stuff and then rip a card out of their hand. They're light, and I think light and dark are the 2 most attributes in Yu-Gi-Oh! That are the biggest supports.
Light by far has the strongest support.
And Honest is still at 2. So you could sit on 1 card. If you have 1 Honest, you're cool.
Yeah, you could place it Honest. Speaking of light, my number 2 that I have just been dying to play, it's one of my pet decks, Ojama!
Played that against locals this weekend, and
it can do so much.
So even if you never go into Ojama King, the fact that you can go into Ojama Knight and lock your opponent's extra deck zone out and just say, do anything, as long as you can keep that knight on the board, and then the field spell shenanigans, there's just, and it's a slower format, so Ojama, they're light, you can go for your brilliant fusions, like, there's so many just stupid shenanigans to do with Ojamas, and you can just punish people.
Those rank 2s, though.
Oh yeah, rank 2s.
Cat Shark.
Yeah. Cat Shark with Gachi, and any other Ojama with the field spell up, and your opponent's gonna hate you because you have the biggest motherfucking Gachi on the board. Like, and then
it's a Gachi, so you're like, I hate my life.
So yeah,
Ojama's gonna do great.
I think Ojamas are gonna do really well, especially because you can combo like ground claps and like board position is so important these days.
Yeah, that's gonna be really interesting.
There's all those weird Senate switch stuff, man.
It's now relevant. Yeah.
What's your number 2 right now?
Or since you guys are picking light ones, I could have sworn I picked a light one.
Oh, I hate you so much.
Light Sworns.
I'm actually happy for Light Sworns.
Yeah, Light Sworns have never been really, back in the day, they've never been much depend on a extra deck. You know, once they got Michael, they were kind of there a little bit, but...
That was like it, though. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe that.
You have
now...
the $2,000 Minerva?
Which, if you play Minerva, you play Minerva. You're not even playing Light Sworn, you're playing Minerva.
Yeah, like, Minerva Turbo. But...
Stupid, I hate that card.
Especially with the new support that they're getting, I want to see Light Sworns do really well. They were one of my favorite decks back in the day, and I really want them. I really want them to do well. They don't need an extra deck really, and I mean, let's be honest. No matter what format, you see them counting grave. Okay, forward grave. They drop that. It's always a pain. Pay 1,000 just to destroy everything. Dropping Judgment Dragon.
You have the new Chaos version to screw everybody's shit over
and
too.
Freaking that grass by itself.
Yeah, grass is green is gonna help out Light Sworns so
60
much.
card.
When we have a buddy named Luke who plays Light Sworns, so when they do something good, we're gonna have him on the channel and talk about his love of Light Sworns.
Yeah.
Well, my last one. Got to mentally double check here. My last one is actually the first deck I ever picked up. The first real deck I played in Yu-Gi-Oh! Getting brand new support in the Duelist Saga. That's way better than I thought, thanks to Carper D here for telling me it. Harpies. Now, Harpies, everyone's thinking, what's wrong with you? They are an XYZ based deck. No, they can be. They are not required. They can do some spicy floating and stuff. I wish they would create a different elegant egotist that didn't just do it once per turn or whatever it is. But they can do stuff. They can stack up. They are air, so they kind of get some floating.
Wing Beasts have so much support though.
They have some good support now.
You could literally throw up a Cattle Call on one of them, drop that Ulti Falcon in the zone, and then go into your 7 Sins combo, and just sit on 7 Sins as your one extra deck monster, while you just have all your Harpies to just do everything.
And even then, too, you can even do some spicy tech with some other Wing Beast stuff. Types of the Brethren can get you out real quickly.
Grab you a barrier
and
statue.
let's get real. If we're going to a slower, barrier statues, but even if we're going on a slower format, Harpies Hunting Grounds is a card still.
Yeah,
you pop that bad boy on there, and you have, by the way, folks, who play with Harpies, you have to pop spells or traps, so don't do it if it's your only spell and trap on the board. But if your opponent does demise combos and sets everything, you do the Harpies Hunting Ground, Ties of the Brethren, pop, 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 pop.
Oh, wait, it gets even better, guys. There's a new card that I think it's coming out in Duelist Saga where you set 2 field spells on each end. You can set a Gear Town on their side, flip your Hunting Ground, pop the Hunting Ground. Pop the Gear Town, get a free big beat stick on board, smack.
And you can do a lot of fun stuff too, and even
set your stare signs.
And
on
you
a
can
reactive dragon.
and you can get a couple link 2s, maybe even a link 3 if you do it right in the span.
Yeah.
That you could do your classic Channeler, Pitch, Pet Dragon, and Big Eye. I think can do really good stuff this way. And Draco Sack, they're coming back. So that's my number 3rd one.
All right, my number 3 is currently really powerful because of that grass. Infernoids. Infernoids.
They are another deck that just won't die.
They don't really need an extra deck. Their one major extra deck monster is, I think, the Fusion, maybe? And they used to be really heavy for Omegas, but they don't need it as much now because of Void Feast, which is too good a card. If Infernoids were to get hit, that would be a card to hit. But like you get 2 negates and one other Infernoid. It's just too strong of a play, but I think they're going to do amazing. They're so techable and just they don't need an extra deck. So
And they just poop out these giant monsters.
yeah, it's just giant big monsters clearing boards left and right.
Man, and when they resolve that grass is greener,
Especially first
oh
turn.
my god. Yeah, now my last one is actually a deck that actually uses the extra deck a lot, and that deck is Cyframes. I know that Cyframes, they weren't doing that great because of how slow they were, but in the slow format, they can be doing really well. Now, their biggest thing is the fact that they can tag out. Now, if the ruling with this is accurate, so when they tag out or when they vanish and they come back, they should be coming back to the monster zone. In other words, they don't actually need a link monster. They usually only go into the extra deck monster one monster at a time anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes back, you have that extra slot, you can go into another one.
That could work.
Yeah, and especially if they summon the link monster, you can activate Zeta to banish that link monster.
Just like monsters aren't in defense,
Yep.
they only come in attack, which is the requirement because Zeta has to have special summon attack position monsters.
Mhm.
And Omega's still not on the ban list.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, $80 card remains untouched. Best generic 8 ever.
I agree. So that should have easiest access to the Omega, and it's gonna be great. I like to see them. All right.
Those are 9, and then our honorable mention is just because it got kind of touched in the ban list. Zoo.
Yeah.
Like, I still think it could be really good, and I think in a good debate video, which you guys can comment in the discussion, is whether this or our number 1 is better. But you know,
You got Clock Rooster and Leica, and then Hammer Kong coming out in what's the new set?
Maximum Crisis?
Maximum Crisis.
and I just think that it's still got versatile, especially that Miss Radius or whatever it is, like the Earth one, because they all
That's
get a
true.
buff.
Minus
Yep.
radius.
So, and our number 1 pick is
Mermails.
Yeah.
Everyone's talked about Mermails. I definitely think they could do good. I mean,
Brio back.
Brio back can bump up their link monsters and
Yeah,
It's a
and
strong power play. You got the what was it, Tatsunoko, your baby
Yep,
coral
the little
dragon.
baby coral goes into Coral Dragon, and then you can want to be spicy out of level. And then so,
Yeah.
So Synchros can do something.
And all things considered, like without even using the extra, Mermails are still super
You
strong.
can still bring out Megalo, tribute your
Prince.
prince as long as it's face-up attack position players. And don't anyone fool you on that one. And then they can go for 48 attack directly.
Ah.
If you bring out 2 Megalo and you have somehow 2 targets for it, you can.
And
do
that's
Megalos.
without the equip spell,
Mm-hmm.
which can shut down even harder. So what is that, an extra? It's 32 twice, 64.
Yeah.
Plus you have the
Man.
that free Dragoons after tributing your prince.
Dragoons.
That's game, dude.
I'm so happy Dragoons
Yeah,
that too.
that is man. They're just so dominant without the extra deck,
And then once they go in, usually they go into like keep you locked down.
Mhm.
You have your
Just sit.
Disgaios, your Flare Metals.
Yeah, I mean, people are going to be complaining that they can't go into Toad as frequently, or be more of a chore. But, so my deck's going to be switched to mine's more of a Toad Turbo deck. But, you still have some other options, and Abyss Megalo, and you can, and since we're in a slower format, Abyss Sphere could come back. And
That's
you could
true.
bring, and you could
could
bring out
could
your
be floating
Lins,
on Lins.
and then brings out your Abyss Lead, which is a 28 beat stick.
Yeah.
So, definitely some spice options.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Do our picks make sense to you guys? Does Zodiac even, because Zodiac outbeat Mermails?
did
Oh,
we
yes.
completely miss something within
Yeah,
this?
let us know if there's anything we missed and like what you guys might think is going to be relevant in the link.
Absolutely. So once again, we're Rising Duelist, and make sure to check us out next time.